Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to BMWONLY. Today we'll be featuring the BMW i8 Roadster. Now this car will be introduced in May, but we can already have a preview of this car. We'll have a look at the interior and exterior of the car and all you need to know about it. This is the e-copper color. I really like what they did with the design. It looks astonishing. So let's go. Now let's start with the front side of this car. There aren't a lot of differences compared to the i8 of what we had. When you look at, for example, the engine, which has been upgraded like 12 horsepower. But for example, the exterior does have some changes. Now we have the i8, the previous model right there, so we can have a quick look at it and some differences with the new i8. But as you can see already is those air vents here on the front, because the electric engine is right here in the front, whereas in the rear we have the petrol engine. So you can already see that there's a difference here. We do have these typically kidney grills that we have from the BMW, but in this case these have sensors behind them. There really aren't any air intakes here in the front. As you can see, these lights, we do have these laser beams, so we have the new BMW adaptive LEDs, and I really like those layers stacking on top of each other. Now the e-copper color, metallic, looks absolutely beautiful. The BMW emblem and the small blue circle around it. And here on the bottom we also have some air intakes and some more layers with those air vents, some parking sensors. Now as for the side, we have the new rims. So these are the 20-inch rims that we have. We have the 215/45 R20, and we have those braking systems here. But I do like the new rims design. We'll compare it with that. It does look a little different. This is what we had with those edges, and now when we look at those new rims, you can see more of them, like smaller edges. They're really connect to each other. Now what you can also see is those black details on the car, which really match the e-copper color quite well. What you see here with those mirrors, and you can really see the aerodynamics in this car. You can see these holes, these air throughs, which is also something you have here on the bottom, which is not something you can really see, but there are also some air throughs right there as well. And here on the rear we also have these wheels. In this case we have the 245/40 R20 here on the back with the braking system. Now also something that is one of the most significant differences with the i8 that we already had is that we have an open roof. It's sort of a cabrio. It has a Roadster written here on the side, and here we also have the mechanism that can open and close the roof, but we'll see that later on in the video as well. We have the engine here. We have some air vents here on the side with the Roadster written here as well, and those black details. As for the rear side, it is pretty comparable to what we already had with the i8. I mean, let's just have a look at that, for example. It's pretty comparable to what we have here. But then again, this is the e-copper color with those black details. It looks absolutely beautiful. Those layers stacked on top of each other, the rear camera for the parking, and a smallish design spoiler here in the back. Now what we have here is that the engine is pretty much the same with 231 horsepower. It's a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine, but the electric engine has been increased with 12 horsepower. and has now a top speed of, instead of 70 kilometers an hour, up to 105 kilometers an hour. So you can see that this car has still a limited speed of 250 horsepower, of 250 kilometers an hour, what we saw with the previous model. But all in all, the top speed is now 4.6 seconds, which is quite astonishing. This car really drives fast. Now let's also have a look at these doors. So what you can see is that you still have those wing doors that we saw with the previous model. You can see, which is new, is the hologram here on the floor. When you open the door and when you close it, it's right there, like this. You can still see the carbon fiber, which is all over the car, which is also what we saw with the previous model. And the gray leather with the Contrastitching there as well. The i8 Performance, again the carbon fiber and the door. So here we have the key. It's slightly different from what we see with the regular BMW's keys. You can just close the car and unlock it like this. Now before we proceed to the driver's seat of this car, let's have a look at the trunk space. You can unlock it using this key, like this. And as I mentioned, here you have the petrol engine. There's limited space here, but they compensated it with some extra storage space there in the rear seats, which we do not have anymore. So let's go to the driver's seat, unlock the car. It's slightly easier to slide in the car, because usually it was a bit more difficult, but now that we don't have the roof here, it's a little easier to slide in, although it's never easy to slide in a BMW i8, so let's try that. Well, that went a little easier than expected. I really like the way the interior has been designed here. What you have is still the same steering wheel, but it's different than, for example, the M Performance steering wheels or whatsoever. I like the interior design here. Here we have the automatic headlights, the brightness of the colors, the interior, which is pretty much the same, the automatic transmission, some storage here. Here is where we can pretty much change the way we have the roof here, so we can hold this, but we'll do that in a bit. We also have a USB port. Furthermore, we have the controller pad here, the automatic transmission, the display, and these seats, which look absolutely great. I mean, just look at the copper color, or the copper leather with the Contrastitching. They look very sporty, as well as the rest of this car. And here we also have the buttons to unlock and close and lock the car. Let's close this door. And let's just turn on the engine. Okay. This is what it looks like. We have the BMW head-up display there in the front. The iDrive 6, media, communication, navigation, connected drive, my car, car eDrive, lightning, keys, speed, parking, pretty much everything. iDrive, profiles, Technic, some of the eDrive, etc. to get some information. So here we have the start and keyless go, braking, the Comfort Echo Pro. This is the rear camera, parking. Here we have those storage, as well as here we do have the wireless charging here with the electronic car. Now here in the back we have 100 liters of extra storage, where we can leave a variety of things, and we also have some speakers, which we also have here at the headrest. The car Right now it's in driver's mode, and then we can put it in sport, and that's where you'll hear what it really sounds like. Now it's a 3-cylinder engine, but it sounds awesome. And here we have the speedometer, which is completely digital with the top speed of 250 and the 374 horsepower which we have with this car. It sounds pretty nice. The Harman & Kardon surround sound system. But all in all, I like the interior, I like what they did here. You can go up to 105 kilometers an hour with the electric engine and 250 with the petrol. Just close it like this and it goes automatically in parking. Now let's have a look at the roof. It closes in only 10 seconds. And the window, which is really fast, really great. I like the way the roof is here. Done. So let's open it again. Oh, barely managed to get out. Anyway, thank you for watching BMW Only. I hope you enjoyed this review of the BMW i8 Roadster. Special thanks to BMW Doubelstein. Also make sure to visit their webshop www.onlinebmwparts.nl. So thank you for watching BMW. Make sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you again.